Welcome to Ask the Sup. I'm Meredith Lascallette today with Dr. Anthony Jackson, Superintendent of Nash-Rocky Mount Public Schools. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Meredith.
And we ought to just get to the questions. Would you please define what a stakeholder group is and how they relate to Nash-Rocky Mount Public Schools?
Well, stakeholder groups are our customers. And we divide them into small groups so that we can better serve them. So stakeholder groups, our major stakeholder group would be students. Stakeholder group would be parents. Stakeholder groups would be our staff and the different groups that we serve. So overall, I would say they're our customers, and they're the groups that we have to attend to and try to ensure that we're meeting their needs as we make decisions for the school system.
And what are student, parent, and teacher advisory committees, and how can they help improve the Nash-Rocky Mount Public Schools?
It's a great question. Student and parent and teacher advisory committees are groups that I establish every year to provide feedback to me on what we're doing as a school system, how we can better serve those groups. It would be very difficult for me to meet with all 16,000 students. So our student advisory group is that group represents a representative from each of our middle and high schools. And so we attempt to have regular forums with them so I can discuss with them issues and concerns that we address in terms of student matters. The same with a representative group of parents and teachers from each of our school and support staff.
What impact can student, parent, or teacher advisory committees make in this classroom?
Well, I think they make they can have a tremendous impact in our school system because they help me ensure that the decisions that I'm making, that I've at least consulted those individuals that those decisions will impact. For example, students, we talked to the student advisory about iConnect before we implemented it, about how we can go about making this something that students, that would be beneficial to students. With parents, last night I met with our parent advisory group, and we wanted to ensure that they were engaged in the budget process as well as having discussions about calendar makeup days and things like that, so that we could at least hear their voice before final decisions are made.
Right, and how can the students and parents who are interested in these advisory committees be involved and get involved?
Well, each of them, the participants are selected at the school level. So I would make sure that your principal is aware of your interest in serving. And each year, I don't select them. I allow the schools to come up with whatever process they want to use to select those individuals so that they can serve. Well, the only thing I ask is that the individuals they select, that they can come to the meetings on a regular basis, and in fact, that those representatives can in fact represent the voice of the school and not just their own individual voice, that they are in fact reflecting the thinking and thoughts of that stakeholder group from that school's perspective.
How many times per year do the student, parent, and teacher advisory committees meet to be an effective in improving instruction and student performance?
Well, it varies. Our student advisory, they meet once a quarter. Because they meet during the school day, and I have to be sensitive to the time that they spend away from the classroom. So I've asked our principals if that would be satisfactory, so they meet 4 times a year. Our teacher advisory, they meet monthly because there are lots of things that will come up, and on occasion with our schedule, we have to cancel or reschedule. And our parents, they meet every other month, and lately they've been meeting once a month. So it varies by group, and it also varies by the information and the discussions that we need to have. But if I have a major decision that I need to call them together, it's great to have a group where I can get that feedback from those individual groups on a particular topic.
What is the community partnership, and what partnerships do we have in place at this time?
Oh, wow. We have lots of partnerships with our school systems. Most importantly, I think a lot of our schools have individual partnerships, and you can see evidence of that, particularly at athletic events. If you look around a lot of our stadiums, at your school, you look around the stadium or the gym, you'll see a lot of those partnerships and sponsorships around the school. So the schools have built relationships. You'll look around the district when we have major events. We have individuals who will partner with us With our digital conversion, we've built partnerships with those individuals who are helping us do this the right way. I think particularly Apple Computer, Pearson Education, Discovery Education, those types of groups. Some of the local partners we have are with the Chamber, United Way, different groups, Cummins, Hospira, Honeywell, those groups. And what we try to do is build those relationships so that they can help our schools provide the best service that we can possibly provide to our students.
How does the community partnerships help improve instruction and the student performance?
Well, I think particularly some of our local partners, Hospira, Cummings, some of the local groups, they allow us to have access to their industry so that we can use them as training laboratories for our students. They provide resources, some financial, some equipment, some just time. We have some of our partners in the community, churches, who will send people over to assist us with tutors and mentors for our youngsters. And so there's a variety of ways in which they help, and every little bit helps. And so what we try to do is make sure that those small things that they do are valued and appreciated, and because we know that ultimately all of those things are going to help our students improve. If not on tests or things like that, but just improve their experiences within the school system.
If there was a business that was interested in helping Nash-Rocky Mount Public Schools, how would you tell them to get involved?
Wow, you're really good at this. I would ask them to contact our public information office and share their interest, and then so that we can ensure that they are connected with the right people and with the right, so that they're not getting a runaround, trying to find where they can fit best. Right. Not all partners can help all schools, and not all schools partner well with every single person that's interested. We vet them, and obviously they have to go through a certain background check and things like that. But once that's done, we love to have as many partners as we can actually get. I would love to have multiple partners at every single school.
In what specific areas can the community partnerships help the any school?
It varies based on the needs of that school. I've had schools use community partners as for community job fairs, for work experiences, for mentors, for proctors. We're getting ready to get into the assessment season right now. And so we use a lot of our community partners. We invite them to serve as proctors on test days. We ask them to come in and do programs with to expose our students to their work and to expose students to their industry, and also to kind of share with them and show them that we are connected as a community and that the community is actually invested in their learning.
In your opinion, what does the 21st century community engagement look like for the school system?
Well, that's an awesome question, by the way, because I think it's changing. I think heretofore we've had engagement look almost like you have to come to us, and that's the only way you can help us. But I think with our abilities now to connect with individuals virtually, we've opened doors that we've not used before. I've got a school now currently using what we would call e-mentors, where someone that through FaceTime or Google Hangout, they can mentor a student and they don't have to leave their job. Lunch buddies, where a student can have experiences, virtual field trips during lunch, where they can visit and see what's going on in one of our industry, at the hospital, or get to see things that they wouldn't have been able to see, or we would have had to put them on the bus to do before. So there are multiple ways that we're going to be changing, and that the use of technology, as well as the connections with partners who are local as well as national, become more viable for us, and those things become more accessible for our students. So it's going to look different because we have different tools.
What are the different types of events does NRMPS hold to increase the community engagement?
Well, our public information office is constantly looking for opportunities, but I think our schools have done a tremendous job. We hold a CTE showcase every fall where we have multiple community assets at our disposal at the community college, where and I want to say they're one of our best partners, by the way, Nash Community College. But we have a big showcase of our programs and how they connect with our local industry. We have our perks card, where we engage individuals who want to be a part and want to give the community discounts that they give back and help support the schools through their work. So we have multiple opportunities where we bring people in and we maintain long-term relationships with them, and we encourage them to step forward and do that, but we're always looking as well.
Well, why do you hold these events like the community conversations?
Oh, well, those are awesome for me because, again, I can't make decisions in isolation. I don't want to make decisions in isolation. And I also recognize that in a community as large as ours, information gets garbled up when we only depend on one way to share that information. And so what I like to do is give people access and opportunities to have a direct conversation with me. Now, that requires that I'm willing to hear the hard things that they have to say sometime, but it also gives me the opportunity to clarify and to share those things that we do on a regular basis with the community. So that's just a great opportunity for me to spend time with the community, listening and learning so that I can make good decisions based on real-time data that I'm hearing from the actual people who have to live through those decisions.
And not only that, do you have to get other judgments from other people and other opinions from others?
Absolutely. We want that. That makes the work a lot simpler, and I can make decisions with confidence that I've listened. Because this is not a single, it's hard sometimes to make those decisions. But I want to make sure that I've at least listened and that I'm doing what's right for all of our students based on the fact that I've listened to all of those stakeholder groups that have a vested interest as well. I have to understand and be very honest with everyone that I don't know all the answers. But together, I promise you, we can come up with the best answers if we'll just work together and listen to one another.
Right. Well, that's all we have time for today. I'm Meredith Lascallette from Northern Nash High School, today with Dr. Anthony Jackson. And come join us next time for Ask the Supt.